All right, good morning, everybody. We want everybody to know that we are being filmed, and we're gonna start this morning with a call to order by the management, and chair roll call.
Roll call, Timothy Caton,
Here,
Andrew Ekstrom, Elizabeth Collins, Pauline Brodeur. Here. Henry Lanier.
Here.
That's the roll call, Mr. Chairman.
okay, thank you. Okay, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, if we can get an approval of the minutes of October 16, 2024, regular board meeting.
Approval of the minutes?
Yep, you, excuse me?
I said approval of the minutes?
Yes. You approve?
Yes.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, so moved. Okay, approval of the check warrants.
Pretty normal month, and again, with a housing authority of this size, the months don't really change that much. We'll have as 2025 comes in, I believe it's toward the late spring or early summer, we'll have a payment that's due to the Westport Retirement Board, but I don't have that amount yet, so once I have that amount, I'll let the board know. But again, it's a fairly straightforward month.
Paul, are we following you on,
You can. He asked if you're following you on this. You can.
Yes, that's the warrant right there. So
Number
we're on-
4.
We're on page 4 through 8.
okay, great. Sorry to interrupt.
No worries.
No problem. Yep. Okay. So, is there a motion to approve the check warrants?
Motion to approve the check warrant?
Is there a second? I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Management report.
I'm just gonna send the warrant signature page around. Henry, if you wanna sign that, and then just pass it down.
What's a warrant?
No, that's just a listing of all the checks that were written the prior month.
Right.
So what you have in there is the October check run for the housing authority.
This is the run. And is this unusually large or small?
It's a fairly standard month. The months don't really, deviate all that much month to month. There may be certain things, for example, if we have a payment that's due to a vendor for a state project, but we get reimbursed for all of that. So, it's a fairly, this month was fairly standard.
Okay. And so, approving all of these, we sign here?
Yep.
Sorry.
That's what you do. So while that's going around, I'll just address the management
Yes,
report.
sir.
Again, basically a point of information for the board, the maintenance report is there, and again, this just encompasses the completed work orders that Dave had been working on. So you'll find those work orders on pages 10 through 14. And again, it's just for your information to kind of give the board a sense of the kind of calls that the office gets and what Dave is working on, in addition to his normal duties of,
Yep.
turning over the departments and whatnot. So, if anybody has any questions regarding, an individual work order or anything pertaining to that, I'd be happy to entertain that.
Excuse me, Paul?
Yes, Pauline?
Back on the locks. Get the locks. Is there anybody else in the office?
No.
Okay, he's here for the locks.
is your copy, I think.
Yeah, you had one, I just handed you my copy. There's only one copy that's needed. Okay. As far as vacancies are concerned, on page 15, you'll notice that we have 4 vacancies. We've been, there's one unit that is kind of, bedeviling us, unit 3H. We had somebody for that unit, and, they signed the lease, and they paid the first month's rent, and, then they changed their minds. So, we said, okay, so we made it vacant again, then he changed his mind again, and said he wanted it. No problem, because we went through all of the evaluation and, qualifying him for the unit, so, gave him back the keys a second time, and then he came back a second time and said he changed his mind again. So now we're done. So now we're moving on to another applicant. So that's unit 3H. In addition to that unit, there's unit 5A that is being rehabbed because it was in very poor condition. We also have a unit in the one building, that was an eviction, so that's vacant. And then unfortunately, we had a gentleman pass away, so that's unit 6B. So right now, there are 4 vacants. We're going through our, champ qualification process, so we should be hopefully ready to fill these units in short order, once we get through with the
Right, this is unusual, that's the 4 vacancies.
It sort of ebbs and flows, Henry, to be honest with you. I mean, you can never, senior housing being what it is, people sometimes are not able to live by themselves any longer. They may have to go into a nursing home. People unfortunately pass away, as happened over here. And then we don't like to go down that road, but sometimes we do need to evict people. And that also happens, so. I wouldn't say it's unusual. In a housing authority the size of Westport, only being 48 units, we have to be cognizant of the number of vacants we have, because if it gets higher than 10%, we're kind of on the watch list, if you will, for the state. And then they could say, well, gee, you've got more than 5, you have more than 5 vacants, what's going on?
Are these,
So,
I would have thought that most of these rentals, revenue would be automatic, the social security or whatever, income they've got would be, I'm surprised that there's a vacancy.
well, it takes a while for us to find the next person. What you're speaking of with income, okay, that's true. Everybody that lives here pays 30% of their income to rent. And many of our residents get social security, they might get a pension, or there may be other, sources of income, maybe they have an IRA or something, but everybody that lives here pays 30% of their income. And then if there's any medical expenses involved, we can deduct those. But it's the qualification process right now with the new statewide system that's what's taking the longest, not the actual income part of it.
I would imagine too, if you had a situation where you had to go through a unit and do some major repairs and stuff, it might take a little longer too.
We are seeing that across all of our portfolios. The units that we are turning over are being left in absolutely atrocious condition. That's nothing new.
Right.
That's what we're faced with unit, with unit 5A.
Yeah.
It was just left, it's basically a gut job. The cabinets have fallen down, there was holes in the countertops. I don't know how long that individual had lived here, before, but, we can't, there's some major work to do.
Right.
Before we can move somebody else into that.
Yeah.
So again, this is just, I want to assure the board, we're on top of it, and, the other complicating factor was not utilized here on a regular basis, what we're finding is a lot of the individuals that are appearing on our list polls are very, very old applications. And many of these people have either made other arrangements for housing, or we can't contact them, or they might have passed away. We get a ton of return mail. So it's just a matter of working through, you know, the individuals that, you know, we can't contact. Sooner or later, we'll get a batch where it's current, and we can do it. But like I said, there's a process that has to be followed,
Can-
and, but
Can you purge the system?
we are doing that. But in order to do that, we have to work through our lists. We have to do a mailing and wait till things come back and so forth, and,
But it's anybody, anywhere in Massachusetts. It's not just Westport residents.
all right. The other situation involved with the CHAMP system is we could identify somebody that, okay, whatever, they're number 4 on the list, so we wanna work with them. And we encourage them to get their social security in, get any bank statements in, we do landlord references. That sometimes is a big holdup.
Yeah, that's right.
Because we have a very transient population, so it's very tough sometimes to get all the landlord references going back 5 years. But, assuming that we do, get them, sometimes what'll happen is, we're ready to go, and then another housing authority out there that's looking for the same kind of tenant will log into the system and see that, oh, all the information is here, and they hit the offer stage before we do, and they end up grabbing the tenant. So we sometimes do all the work, and some other housing authority grabs the tenant, and that happens from time to time.
I would imagine nowadays too, that, that you would have a hard time, well, you wouldn't have as many vacants because the baby boomers are coming, they're here, and they're retiring, and there's a lot of them.
Sure.
And in fact, trying to help out a friend of mine with a nursing home, and he lives in Fall River, and the closest nursing home they could get him in was in Brockton, because everything's
Right.
booked, because of baby boomers, and there's just a shortage of
Of course,
housing.
of
There's a
course.
short of housing, this type of housing, there's a short of nursing home housing, and all that across the
Public
state.
housing is really, if you look at it from a cost perspective, it's the best deal going.
Yeah.
If we can what we wanna do is enable people to maintain independence for as long as possible. Nobody wants to go into a nursing home.
No.
Nobody, presumably wants to move in with their kids. I mean, maybe some of you do, I don't know, but, the question is, do the kids want you to move in with them? I think that's the question. But, so I think we try to, work with folks so they can maintain their independence. And, I think if you look at the costs of healthcare, the costs of nursing homes, the costs of assisted living, and you compare that to the outlay for, maintaining public housing, I think public housing is, the best deal out there.
It is.
It's been demonstrably proven
Right.
that that's the case.
Sure.
As a tenant, I can't afford to live elsewhere. You go to Fall River, 3rd floor walk-up, which I couldn't do, $1,200.
Yeah.
And you have to buy your own stove and refrigerator.
No utilities, it's a very, and that's why even today, you see that out there.
Yeah.
Even if you have a great job, you can't afford to buy a house. The average price of a home in the greater Boston area is like $940,000. The average person, even if you do have a great job, can't afford a $5,200 a month mortgage or whatever it is. It's just not reasonable. So that's why the move was on with the bond bill, with the housing bond bill. There was a lot of emphasis made to the restoration and the renovation of the public housing stock, because it's true, we don't have the resource, or you know, I don't think Westport is in that boat, because, you know, the buildings are well-maintained, but in a lot of housing authorities, they simply don't have the funding to adequately, you know, maintain these apartments. And I think the bond bill, that was just signed into law by the governor, I think that's gonna go a long way, you know, towards injecting funds into public housing and kind of enabling us to modernize and, you know, keep these units safe and, you know, for all the residents going forward. So I think that's good, but, no, I'll have more to say on the vacancies. Hopefully, the next time we meet, there won't be 4, maybe there'll be 3 or 2, you know, so we'll see what happens there.
Okay.
The monthly financial reports, these are through September 30th.
Yep.
So, I would caution you that these are not, the expenditures that you see on this and the income is accurate. However, this statement does not reflect the new budget that was just approved by the state. The budget that you folks approved here was sent to EOHLC for approval. It finally was approved, but these numbers do not reflect that yet. So what you're gonna see is if you go to page 18, those first 2 columns right there, the approved budget amount and the pro rata budget, those numbers are going to change. The actual amount in column 3 is accurate, and the factor of pro rata in the second to last column, that is accurate. However, the budget numbers are gonna change. So, the next time we meet, the budget numbers will change.
By a lot, or?
Well, the state increased the allowable non-utility expense level by 12%. So it is gonna change quite a bit. So I would not encourage you to spend too much time on this particular report. I would draw your attention to page 17. Almost to the bottom of the page, you'll see the number 83.2%. That's our operating reserve. That's a very healthy operating reserve. We had this discussion at a board meeting in the past. The goal is to keep that number below 100, okay? We wanna keep it below 100, but higher than 35. So we're fine, we're at 83.2%.
Point me at that number?
Page 17,
Yep.
83.2%, right close to the bottom of the page. And if you look at this number, right next to it, $151,112, that's that's essentially what we have in the bank. So for a housing authority of this size, that's a healthy amount, so we're good. We don't wanna end the year with that number over 100%, because we would wind up in the same boat that we faced just recently, where we had to give money back to the state.
No, we don't do that.
Okay, so we wanna keep as much money as possible there. So our state-funded project update, there's one project that's ongoing right now, and that is the door.
Oh, yeah, the locks and everything?
Correct. So that's being done now. In fact, he's here today, so I believe he's hopefully gonna be finishing up over the next couple of days. We had our performance management review last week, and I'm happy to say that it went well. The apartment inspections went well. The administrative area of that, we do have tightening up to do, but we knew that. So what'll happen is, Tim, they will issue a report, and I believe they will email the report to all the board members with their comments and their summaries. Overall, it was not as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
Question.
Yeah.
The inspection summary, is that like safety inspections and things like that for the tenants and?
The annual unit inspection summary, we just conducted annual inspections,
Okay.
which had not been done here in quite some time. So we conducted them, and I just wanna say to the residents here, there's only 3 of them, but, the inspections went very, very well overall. They went extraordinarily well. There were very small number of health and safety issues that we're in the process of addressing now. But the inspector said he was very impressed with what he saw, considering that it had been a while since they had been inspected.
Over 8 years.
8 years, yeah, it's been that long?
Oh.
I didn't think it was that long, but, yeah, so he said that was a very good result, and we're very happy for that. Local outreach, I'm meeting Senator Roderick tomorrow for the first time.
Yep.
We'll be meeting down here someplace, I would imagine, having a cup of coffee somewhere, so.
Right.
He's a good person to get to know.
He is.
He's the chair of the Senate Budget Committee.
That's right.
So he controls the purse strings for a lot of, for the whole state, really.
Yeah.
So I'll be meeting with him. So, overall, I am happy with the progress we've made. Hallways are being cleaned. We've done a lot. Hallways are being cleaned, the annual inspections were done. Recertifications, we're sort of gearing up for that, the early part, of next year. We're doing some office reorganization, cause there was just a ton of stuff there. There's many documents that we've located that, go back 20-some odd years. There's no reason for us to keep those. So we filed the report with the Secretary of State's office, documenting all of the items that we've located, and then, when they give their thumbs up, we can call a shredding company and get a shredding company here, and we can shred all that stuff and free up some space.
Did you reach that out to the tenants? The
What's
shredder,
that?
the shredding paper? Could you reach out to the tenants that they would participate in that as well? I know I have papers that I don't wanna get rid of. I take them to UPS and they shred it, but they charge you for it.
Yeah, I don't know if, because I think they're only authorized to
For the-
shred what has been approved by the Secretary of State.
Okay,
So we have to be careful not to intermingle,
makes sense, yeah.
personal items with that, so. So yeah, overall a good month.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Anything under old business?
You said there was a meeting tomorrow, is that board members?
Say it again?
No, I'm just having a meeting tomorrow with Senator Roderick, myself personally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, board members don't have to come to that.
Okay. Anything under new business?
I'm just gonna look at the calendar, and, if we need to have a meeting, it would be Wednesday, December 18th. Wednesday, December 18th at 10 o'clock here.
Yeah, that Wednesday, December 18th, 10 o'clock. If there is a meeting, I'm gonna have to leave here by about 11 o'clock.
Oh, it'll, if we do have a meeting, it'll be a quick one. It'll be a quick one, yeah. Like it's
It's only 10:30.
only 10:30 now, so it would be, I mean, I might have, for example, on the door
December
project,
18th.
I might have substantial completion
At
and
10
final
o'clock.
completion that you'll need to approve then. Hopefully I'll have it by then.
Okay. All right. Any commissioners' comments?
When we had those people come to change the locks before, it was a disaster. This time, I don't know if it's a whole new crew or what, but everything's, they pick up after themselves, everything's being done in a professional manner.
Was it the same company?
It's the same company, but they're different people. These people are wonderful, I think.
That's good, I'm glad to hear that.
Okay, is that it?
Yes.
Anything, Henry, you wanna bring up, or?
No, actually, I have one question that's.
Okay.
Just a second. Actually, I'm sorry, it's not a full board. I wanted to check in with Paul about further qualifications for my position here. At some point, you had said that told me that because it was a state, organization, that I didn't have to go through another round of qualifications. But I've been getting letters from some organizations that says I got a couple more issues to go through.
Well, you're a little different from the other four members of the board, because you're the state appointee. So your appointment doesn't really have anything to do with the town of Westport. You don't have to run for the seat or, pull papers to get on the ballot or whatever. So you're a little bit different. You're all set. You've been approved by the state. We got the letter in, and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about anything.
I meant to bring the document in. I'll do it the next board meeting.
Okay, that's fine.
Show you what I got.
No worries.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
done.
Thanks, Henry.
Anything else? Okay, tenant comments, any comments? Go right ahead.
I don't need the camera. The cleaning people come, it seemed like twice as much as one month. And Dave wasn't even aware that they were coming. They came at 10 minutes to 2, he was at 2. He had to go around and open all the doors to get the girls to go inside doors to clean.
Okay.
So, number one, I don't understand that. It was like, they didn't.
Well, she's not on a set schedule. She sort of comes here when she can, she's out of Boston. But, that's on me to the extent that, we need to, sort of tighten up the timing.
Yeah.
That, that can certainly be done. I'll make a note of that.
Yeah. He was shocked, he said, you didn't even tell me that they were coming.
I'll talk to him.
Okay?
And the other thing is, one of the tenants, actually the tenant that passed away in my building, he has one doorstops on his door. Now, I don't know if it needs to be put on everybody's door, if he's concerned about it, but I am. I have a hard time bringing my stuff in, because you can't hold that door. So it would be nice if I had a stopper on my door, the entrance door to my apartment.
What's,
I don't know if people have them, or-
what's your apartment number?
6A.
Okay.
I know Jeff had one, yes, but no apartment in my building. No, just Jeff had it, and I said,
I can
that's
look into it.
nice.
I'll
That's nice.
look into it for you, sure.
Yeah.
That's not a problem.
Okay.
No worries.
Mary, nobody has it in mine either.
No, just Jeff had, I showed to see it.
I put the,
To hold the door open.
He may have asked for it, possibly, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know
But,
if they
yeah.
have it there all the time.
I can look into that for you. I'll be happy to look into that for you.
It might have even been there for Elsie, because she's in a wheelchair.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe that's the reason.
That probably
But it
is.
is hard, you can't bring, I gotta try to put one of my bags, if it's heavy enough to hold the door.
Yeah.
Sometimes it still closes, but just a suggestion.
Sure.
No worries.
Okay, is there anybody else with tenant comments? Oh, we got one right here.
Paul's waiting for this one right now.
Excuse me?
Paul's waiting for this one right now.
What's that? Go ahead, Rich.
I wanna just be the guy that thanks you so much. You've been such a, breath of fresh air. And I'm happy to see, to see the progress that you've made. What, I'm only asking, cause this is the board, as well as the executive director. These are specifics. You and I kind of chatted about it, so I think it won't come as a surprise. I think all of you guys know you can't conduct business in the town, the state, the United States, anybody without Wi-Fi. Can't do it. We are all now sitting in a community center, right? Would everybody agree to that for Westport Housing Authority? Are we sitting in the community center? Does anybody agree? I need
Yeah,
voices.
you're in,
We are.
Okay.
you're in the
No,
community
I
center.
need the
Yeah,
board to recognize us, please.
yeah.
Wi-Fi within the community center should simply be something that's obligatory. We live in a world where you cannot conduct any business with any entity without access to Wi-Fi. So what I'd like to bring to attention is that we have already internet access that's brought through the office. It's extended right to that television set that those who do or do not watch it, right? That's cable TV. Does everybody agree that that television set is connected to cable?
I don't know what it's connected to be honest with you, Rich. I'll take your word for it.
Okay, so what I know for sure, because I'm just that kind of guy, Paul knows I don't say anything if I don't know the answer. Do you know how lawyers only ask questions if they don't already know what the answer is? They believe I'm an attorney, just for a second. Okay, that television is connected to cable. It means also that it's connected to the internet. The fact that television and internet brought to run this very office exists, I think it'd be about 10 seconds to understand that bringing Wi-Fi, secure internet access for tenants can happen in 10 seconds.
I have Wi-Fi in my apartment.
Well, we'll get to that later. So what I'm trying to bring to everybody's attention, the board members, is that the office has internet access, correct?
Yes.
So, the office today has internet access. They're plugged in, hardwired. Right? Your router, it's not wireless, correct?
I don't believe it is.
So if it's a connected internet connection, provides it some level of security. Wi-Fi, does everybody understand the term Wi-Fi? I can walk across the street and I can go to Nick's Pizza and I buy my phone or laptop or tablet. I can go in and just sit there and work on the internet. Wireless access.
So you're saying that that's not the case here right now? If somebody came in,
What
in here,
yeah,
They-
please go for it.
they would not be able to access the internet
There's nobody in here that can access the internet.
In this community.
No, because if you're in another building, you're a tenant.
So what you're asking is, you know, Wi-Fi that's available to residents that they could use in the community room?
There's nobody who lives in here that's
He-
not here for a financial reason.
Right.
I think what you're suggesting is you want Wi-Fi in all the units.
What
Is
I-
that what you're suggesting?
Well, let's add, geez, I'm sorry, I can't see it.
That's
Would you like me to see it?
That's
I'd be
okay.
glad to, or-
Go ahead.
So all I'm saying is, we're in a community building. In a community building, you could go to Starbucks, McDonald's, Market Basket, anywhere, and connect to Wi-Fi,
Correct.
right? And what I'm trying to emphasize is that you can't do business with the town, the state, the government, and even any business entity without access to the internet. Does anyone in here not have access to the internet, or buy things on the internet, or do business on the
Yeah,
internet?
yeah. Well, first off, the office has their system. Hear me out, hear me out. That television could be a separate cable connection that has nothing to do with the office. And
It's
that's
not,
And that's why you don't have it in here.
it's not.
And everybody that I don't know if I'm going down the right or wrong road, but everybody in the units that have it, it's almost like the old days of cable TV or television or telephone or whatever. Then I would imagine if they want Wi-Fi, they can get it, but they gotta pay for
It's
it.
up to the individual.
They gotta pay for it, I would
It's
think.
up to the individual. I pay for my own.
There you go.
Okay, excuse me. You're a member of the board, so I'm gonna be very respectful
Yeah.
to you.
Yep,
But what I'm also gonna do is I'm gonna try to inform you. If I can walk across the street to a pizza shop
yep,
and I can get Wi-Fi, if I can walk to the bank, Cumberland Farms, St. Anne's, by the way, Cumberland Farms, CUF, anywhere else, and I can ask for the guest access to Wi-Fi, which we're already paying for. It comes into the house, runs whole system, that's how he gains it. Okay, why in God's name would anyone think you can't come into a senior housing complex?
I can look into it.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, Paul.
No, you know, what I'd be happy to do, and I can do it this afternoon. I can call our IT person that we use now, and I can have him do just a little bit of research, and I could probably have this room, you know, set up with Wi-Fi, and then I can send a memo out to residents saying that Wi-Fi would be available in the community room. I can't imagine that it's any, significant cost to that.
It's about $60.
Huh?
It's about $60 a month.
Yeah, it's not.
No, actually, Paul, if you'll allow me, it would cost zero. And do you know why I know it would cost zero? Short of the router. I'll buy the router. I'll pay for it out of pocket.
That won't be, I appreciate that, but that won't be necessary.
Please, allow me, sir.
Yep.
You know, I've been kind of, had to not be here. But the reality is, you already have all the access that you need via TV, telephone. What telephone service do you guys use?
I wanna say it's Comcast,
Comcast is not in town.
Comcast is the cable, Spectrum. Spectrum.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we all use Spectrum
Okay,
Charter.
okay.
So the reality is, by virtue of the fact, there was one, Verizon backed away from it, even though they're here all the time. The very fact that we pretty much all in this town are restricted system is in that triple play type. You have a service, right?
I have the phone, I have the cable, I get a package deal, but I still pay for the Wi-Fi.
Okay, but they're all within that charter spectrum,
Yes.
Yeah.
package, right?
It's a bundle, but it's on
Yeah.
my bill separate. When I get my bill, it's phone, cable, Wi-Fi.
Okay, so what we're talking about, respect every member of this board, all right? I respect every member of this board, but what we're trying to do is we're not trying to live just for today. We're trying to create something that's gonna be good for people going forward. It'll be usable today, we already pay for it, okay? Cost, no increase, except for the piece of hardware that I'll gladly purchase on my own dime, pay for it. I don't mean monthly payment, we're talking a piece of hardware, right? See that TV over there? When it craps out, another TV would need to be purchased, would you all agree?
Most likely.
Okay, so if we would purchase another TV, why would we not be willing to purchase something to provide internet, Wi-Fi within this place? That you could do the same thing at a pizza parlor or a restaurant, a mall, even a repair garage.
I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I'd be happy to call my IT guy this afternoon and have him do his thing. And you don't have to purchase anything. That's something that if we're providing it as a service to the tenants or the residents, then.
I simply believe it's a benefit.
Yeah.
You know, it's about, everybody benefits. It hurts now, it costs nothing but that bit of hardware.
Right,
So that's like a no-brainer.
right.
You just do it.
I'll do it I'll look into it this afternoon.
Do you
For,
mind- do
yeah,
you
I
mind
agree.
saying that?
Yeah, for the interest of time, I think we should take Paul's suggestion and let Paul do some research and look into it.
Just a phone call, yeah.
And then,
yeah.
and then let it go that route and see what happens.
And I volunteer to work with Paul, because I think he's been such a benefit.
Paul's a great guy, but
Yeah, I didn't want to say that, but, because his ego's gonna go puffed up, but I respect the guy like you can't believe.
yeah.
There are some other things I would wish to bring up. Okay, we're in a community center, right? What's the community center about?
Community.
Is it about the people that live
Yeah.
in the south end of town that don't live here? Who lives here?
No, the residents of Greenwood Terrace. It's-
Exactly.
Right.
Okay, so of the members of the board that are here, what's your interest in being a member of the board?
Serving
What?
serving the community, serving the
Are
residents
you
here.
though? Are you though?
I think so.
I've been here since 2018. Do you know what I see as a member of the community? I don't see a lot of care on the part of the prior boards, members of the board. And I'm not trying to judge you because I don't know you.
I
I
understand.
don't know what you stand for. What I am saying is that there are people who live here 24/7, right? And then there are peoples on that board who show up here once a month,
That's right.
maybe.
And we're in communications with Paul,
And that's, and
and,
that's,
and we hear it. Listen,
are you the
everybody's invited to come here.
are you the chairman?
I am.
Okay, so, number one, I don't know who you are. I don't need your contact information.
Okay?
Why don't I know?
Because we go through Paul.
Excuse-
Paul's your contact for the, Paul, the
So
board,
it's Paul's responsibility to members of the board. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not sure 100% if
You're the chairman.
I know
You
that.
need to know that. I should never have to ask the question.
yes, you should.
Do you or don't you?
You should have.
Do you know or don't you know?
I don't know, to be honest.
Then that's
And
what
I'm
I'm
being
asking
honest,
for.
I'm new here myself, and not to mention how the system works, but now we're going down a different road. We're here, you wanna talk about Wi-Fi, I think we need to do.
We've already covered that.
Let him do it.
What
End
happened
of
We've
story.
already
What
covered
happened to
that.
having 3 minutes to speak?
This is so, you know, we've been, as you know, we've
Yeah,
been
yeah.
here since July.
Understood.
The, really, 4 of the 5 board members are new to the board,
Understood.
okay? And, my experience, certainly in Westport, but my experience elsewhere in the other agencies that we manage, people will volunteer to serve on a board, you know, not necessarily a housing authority board, but really any board, out of a sense of, you know, service to the community. And I think that, that, you know, goes, you know, certainly for this board as well.
And I compliment that,
If it's
I
a,
compliment that big time, you guys are dedicated.
Right.
And I understand that.
And so what, you know, what I would be happy to, and again, you know what? You do raise an interesting point. You know, Tim is correct, that if the board needs to know something, they will, you know, not hesitate to reach out to me, and I will endeavor to get them the answers that they're looking for. We are a public body, you know, you are correct, so all these meetings that we have, this meeting here had to be posted at the town hall and all that, so we follow that. But, you know, the resident handbook that we hand out, and
And I
unfortunately.
don't have one, I've been here for years.
Right, right.
I've never been here.
Well, I'll be, you know,
I
that's,
have handbook.
yeah, I mean,
I've
you.
been here 22 years, and I am grateful,
Mhm.
because I don't know where I'd be living if we didn't have Westport Housing.
Right.
No, and I agree with that. You have the handbook?
Yes, I do.
How come
I have a
not
handbook,
here?
and I moved in 2018.
Yeah, I mean, I can't, I don't know the history, however, we do have a handbook that I'll be happy to give one to you, number one, but number two, as far as the, you know, the board is concerned, you know, it's a matter of public record, who serves on not only the housing authority board, but any committee in town, it's a matter of public record. And, you know, but what I would hope is, you know, to address the original question, you know, why don't I know you? I could post the, you know, board members' names on the bulletin board.
It should be
But-
contacted.
Right, so resident information, you know, what residents do, is if they have an issue, if they have a concern, whatever it is, if it's a work order, if it's a problem with a neighbor, if it's a problem with their rents, whatever the case may be, you know, you're gonna reach out to the office to help you. And you're gonna reach out to me to navigate you through these issues.
Absolutely agree.
It should be, and again, I'll say this, cause it's my experience, you know, doing this for 20 years. It's very rare, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's very rare that a resident should need to reach out to a board member.
I agree 100%. In fact, I don't know if the document still is posted, but I do see it. Day-to-day ops, man, that's your guy. The board, at least if that document that's dated 2018, okay, it outlines what is the exec director does. It outlines what the board does. Resident director, who's been absolutely wonderful. I mean, I can't compliment that gentleman more. But how come I don't know who the board members are? More importantly, two gentlemen that I'm looking at. You're the executive director.
No,
No, he's the board chair.
I'm the board chair.
You're the board chair. I apologize in turn. I don't know you. You've been here since when?
June, July.
June,
June, July?
Yeah.
Sir?
Same thing.
Okay. You came on board. We're now almost in December. Why don't I know who you are?
What,
When they first came here, Tim, before he was sitting in the audience, he asked people, he said, do you have any questions or anything before we come up? Where were you?
You know, I'm a resident here.
Me
I
too.
don't, excuse me, Pauline, because I've known you for a long time.
Mhm.
I've reached out to you for a long time,
Right,
and I get no response.
that's right, because
Yeah.
you threatened me, so I blocked
So what I'm
you.
gonna do is, I'm gonna,
You threatened
excuse
me,
me.
so I blocked you.
I never
I did,
threatened
yes, you did, you did.
I
Come
asked
on,
you. a
somebody's
question.
gotta,
all right, hold,
somebody's gotta
that's
get
enough,
control
enough of
this.
that going back and forth like that.
You wanna do that?
We can't-
I'll take it apart.
We don't wanna, we're not gonna go there. Here's
No,
what, here's,
what I'm-
listen,
what I'm-
here's the thing, if you want, we have to get elected by the town.
You do.
And for me personally,
You
me
do.
only, okay,
do.
I did it, I live in the town of Westport, the town of Westport's been good to me, and I'm trying to give back to my community and sit on boards and do different things on committees, to give a little back to my community, because I believe in it.
Because nobody else does, right?
Because I believe, I'm not saying nobody else does, because I believe, I'm speaking for me only, okay? Now, we get elected, we come here, we sit on the board. You and all the residents are invited to come here. This is
We're
the first
invited.
time I saw you
We're
here.
invited to, excuse me, sir, because this actually ticks me off. We're invited. Guess what? This is an open, public
It is.
meeting.
That's what I
and
mean.
We're not invited.
No.
We are entitled.
That's correct.
We are entitled.
But
to
he
attend
puts
every
notices
town
up.
meeting.
But what I mean by invited, they put the notices up so you people know when the
Excuse
meeting's up.
me, I don't need your notices. Every resident of the town of Westport, Massachusetts is open to.
I know that.
Excuse me,
Rich,
I'm not asking you a question, I'm telling you.
Okay.
Listen,
Call the police department.
close the ears,
Rich,
right?
Rich, a little respect, okay? Come on, a little respect.
He's upsetting me, her, and her. So you either call the police department and get her evicted out of this room, or there's gonna be something happening. Because I'm not getting stressed out again. I got doctors know about being stressed out. You have a problem, a big problem, and you need to take it somewhere else, not in here, in front of everybody. She's upset, I'm upset, now she's upset.
I'm so happy for you.
Well, you're not here to
I'm
make
so happy
people
for you.
upset.
Why don't you dial
You need
911
to-
right now?
You need to leave.
Why don't you dial, no,
You came with me, Dad, cause of trouble now.
I did
All
not
the time.
come
Yes,
with
you
an
are.
attack.
Yes, you are.
I just got out of the government hospital for
All
God's
these
sakes.
things, all these issues will be addressed. The board members will be identified and posted on the bulletin board, okay? And the Wi-Fi situation will be addressed this
Keep
afternoon.
walking.
None of your business what I do. You stay away from me.
All right.
I'll get a notice.
Not here.
From the police department, you stay away from me.
Okay, listen,
Harassing me.
can we get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
So moved, meeting's adjourned.
I'm